Oh, I could.
And action.
Please welcome Mr. Wemette.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Hello, Diane. Hi, everybody out there. It's been a long time since we've done a live Monday, 3 weeks and Diane's here with us. And so I thought that we'd be able to talk and you would know more about how Diane met me, whatever she wants to say, whatever Diane wants to say. But I figured you had some questions. I really did. So I have some questions. And Diane, how did you even think about me after all these years?
Going through my picture albums I've had for 50 years, I saw some pictures of you and myself and Kurt. So I said to my daughter, I wonder if Billy's still alive. So she said, well, we can go on the internet or wherever they do, because I don't know what they do. And I said, well, let's try it. Whatever we did it. And we contacted you and you saw whatever and you called me back. It was perfect.
What I did was on the 8th of this month of June, I was doing a broadcast with Adam, and in the comments below afterwards, it said, I'd like to reconnect with you. I'm Diane's granddaughter, and Diane Hansen wants to reconnect with you. So below that, I wrote in the comments on July 8th or June 8th, excuse me, I wrote, is this Diane Hansen? Is your father Mark? Because I thought it might have been Mark.
No, because I thought, why is he thinking of Mark? No,
because I knew your name wasn't Hansen anymore. I'm trying to think who Hansen. Who went
50 years ago,
So evidently, from what Diane tells me, after that she saw my book online.
Yes.
And she decided to buy that, order it.
Yes, I did.
Did you get it from Amazon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Amazon.
And I don't know. She's mentioned in the book.
Oh, yeah.
And so, therefore, our curiosity really got more. Where is he?
I gotta find Billy.
Anyhow, folks, that's how it happened.
And here we are.
Do you want to explain to the folks why you call me Billy?
Well, all the way back when I was introduced to you by Kurt, he said, this is Billy. And I said, okay, hi, Billy. And you've been Billy ever since.
Kurt called me Billy because Kurt's sister, Marion, was introduced to me as Billy. And that's by my uncle Roy, which I wrote about in the book.
Right,
but, Roy, I hadn't seen Roy since I was like 8-10 years old. And I was trying to kind of reconnect because I was forbidden to see him. My family never wanted me to see him because he was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic.
I never met him, Billy.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
I never did, no.
He did some painting jobs for Kurt occasionally. He was a cab driver.
Okay.
Kind of a bus talk guy. I don't know what Marion ever saw in him, really. I really don't.
Wow.
But anyway, that's why Diane knows me as Billy. Later on, everybody knew me as Red. Even I don't know, anybody that didn't reconnect. No, Curtis. I'm putting a question. Is Kurt still alive? No, Kurt is not still alive.
Is Kurt's sister still alive? That's what it says.
No, Marion's not. Sadly, I don't even know which year she passed away in.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Because they didn't tell me when she died. Nobody did.
I have it. I probably have the card from the funeral home and all that in my books, Billy, if you want a copy.
Okay.
I'll give it.
How do we get rid of that? Good afternoon from Chicago Heights. Thank you, Sean.
Heights.
Yeah, we got people from all over that come in. Cheers, Diane. Scott H. And any rate, so we connected. Somebody left me a cell phone message on my cell phone, and I called, and Diane answered the phone, and I said, "Wow, I didn't know that you were alive or where you were or anything. I didn't know anything was going." When I wrote that, it was in 2015. It got published in 2016, and I tried to contact anybody that was alive. So if there was anything that was misrepresentation or anything, we could clear it up.
Right.
But you were nowhere available to even contact. You flew underneath the radar for a long time there.
Yes, I did. Well, I moved around so much, Billy. State to state.
Anyway, Chicago Joe's talking about your screwdrivers.
Yeah, I know. My first one today, Joe.
Scott H wants to know, what part of the country are you living in now?
I'm living in Florida.
Here's Anthony DiMartini. Anthony, thank you so much. We played the intro at the beginning that you made for me. Thank you so much. Cicero has a question for you. Are you married now?
No.
Are you now married?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. This is Italian. Do you read Italian?
No, I don't.
Buona sera, BBD.
Nobody's complaining but you guys. Okay, darling. You'll feel good. Bye.
What years did you go to Harrison High School?
57 and 58, or up to 50. Yeah, 50. The end of 57, all of 58, the beginning of 59, I believe it was. I'm not positive, but I think that was.
There you go, Bobby Bag of Donuts. You got the answer. That's a good question. I don't even know the answer. Diane, how long were you married to Kurt Hansen?
I believe like 10 years.
Okay, 10 years, more than I know. Oh, BBD, William Kirschmeyer put this up. Bill's a great guy. He's the one that sent me the model of the GTO. He said, BBD is Big Beautiful Doll.
Oh, cute.
That's what he said. So. I think the answer is no. Diane, did you go to school with Tony Spilotro? No, she did not. I don't think so.
Years and years later when I met Tony.
This is funny, Copop. Any relationship to Chris Hansen from Dateline? He was on
No,
ABC.
just to Kenny and Marion.
Yeah. Well, her married name was McGann.
Right.
I don't know what her maiden name was.
Well, it had to be Hansen.
No, what was Ethan's name?
Who's Ethan?
Ethan was their father.
Oh.
That was Kenny's grandfather.
He was married to the grandmother that played the piano at the speakeasy.
Right.
Trying to think what he told
Now,
me.
she was married twice.
Her name was McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy, okay. Nobody knows the names of these people.
McGillicuddy, her name was.
Okay, Cicero wants to tell you that he went to Harrison High School between 1981 to 1983. Well, that's
After
about 20 years later.
many, yeah.
Mark, we don't want any comments like that at all in my room.
Uh-oh, bad boy, Mark.
You don't do that, Mark.
Booted him.
He went in timeout.
I knew you did, whatever it was, yeah.
Bill Kirschmeyer, Miss Diane, did you ever spend any time north of the border in Wisconsin?
Well, I lived in Lake Zurich area, and actually in Antioch, Illinois, which is right on the border of Wisconsin. Okay.
So maybe you took a few boat trips up there.
many times through the Wisconsin to the Dells and all the places where the water was. We took our boats because we had 2 boats and we would take them out on the water.
Hi, Mom. Dawn's on here. She says, "Hi, Mom. This is your better daughter. LOL.
Stop
You
it!
look good
No.
on TV." Did you see the comment up there?
Oh, she's funny. She's cracking down. Yeah.
Okay, Chicago has you look on TV. What did I do here? People are asking questions so fast, it's crazy. Okay, Chicago Joe wants to know this one. It's for me, really. Didn't one of the Hansons try to shoot you? How many times, Red? Yes, that was Kurt. And I don't know how many times, but he always missed. The last time he shot at me was behind American Bonding.
What?
It was, it was daylight.
That's
Police were out walking right by. They didn't do anything.
I can't believe it, Billy.
And the bullets were ricocheting off of the girders there.
But you were such a good kid. Why would he even want to do this?
He wanted the business.
So what? You're going to kill somebody because you want their business? What are you looking here? You gotta get a screw loose, Billy.
I never understood any of it either. I just
hold on. And especially, he knew that place was watched constantly. Why would you do it in American Bonding? You got to be goofy.
It was in that, like, I think there were cinders back there or something like that.
Back there. We always parked in the back.
Yeah, underneath the L tracks.
Yeah, it was on the left of it. Yeah, I know.
Right by the police station.
That's what I'm saying. What was? Of course, he
But that made a point to me. The point it made to me was he's not afraid of the police knowing about this, so I'm in trouble.
No common sense. You wouldn't do that, Billy.
No. And he wasn't a good shot. He only had that snub nose 38.
I never seen it. I never seen it. He never discussed anything with me. The only thing he ever said about you to me was, "Oh, he's a good kid." When you put my air conditioner in or whatever. And I said, "What a nice kid. You know, you were quiet. You did what you had to do in the house, and you left."
Looking back, Diane, he was strapped for money because he owed Francis the money.
Carnicle.
Right.
Yeah.
And he spent it on
the Manila trip.
Right. And Francis was after him for the money. And there was no way to get it except take over the store. So that's why he did it. I didn't know all this then. All I knew,
he should have just told Francis the truth. That he used the money.
He never did.
Well, he should have.
He told him he gave me the money, and then Francis came to me and was threatening to kill me.
Oh, that was real nice of him.
Oh, I was not happy about any of it.
No, I would think not, Billy. And I never, like I said, I knew Francis and his wife Peggy well. And there again, I never saw that side of Francis. He was always very polite, nice. We went camping and blah, blah, blah. But
the last message he left me on the phone, it was I had a phone mate, one of those reel-to-reel phone mate things. The last message he left me on the phone was, "Mañana, baby, mañana. I'm sending flowers." That's the last message he left for me.
Francis?
Yeah. Mañana never came.
Wow. See, if you met Francis, you would think he was a nothing from the South construction worker.
Yeah, well, he was from Whippany, New Jersey, if I remember right.
That's where we went up to see him a couple times.
But he built those towers. He built water towers.
I have no idea what he did, but some kind of construction of some sort, whatever.
Major.
Yeah.
So we have a question here. Diane, did you ever meet Marshall Cafano?
No,
No?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Scott H. Maybe he was just trying to scare me. It worked, Scott. Whatever it was, it worked. Okay, you can explain this. Bill Kirschmeyer says, Manila, Kurt visited the Philippine Islands?
No, I did. Done the refrigerator's open. No, I did. I had taken my sister-in-law, Marion, Kurt's sister at the time, there because she was dying of cancer, and we heard about faith healers there. So nobody in the family wanted to go. They were afraid because it was so far away. And I said, I'm not afraid. I'll take her. So I took her to the Philippine Islands. We were there like a week, I believe. Brought her back, and it was all like we said. It was all BS. It was not. They were fake. I mean, it was so obvious. They were pushing guts in their hands, saying it was from. It was a joke.
But she wanted it.
Oh, absolutely. She thought it was real, and I told Marion, it's not. I seen them. It's not. They're just telling you this for the money. We already paid them all this money. We have to get out of here. We cannot stay here. It's not for real.
It's not.
No, so we left. We tried.
And then you had a hard time when you left.
Oh yeah, because she got because of on the plane,
quarantine, cholera.
Quarantine in Honolulu. Because they thought she had cholera. And I tried telling the health inspector, look, when you have cholera, you have a very high fever. She has no temperature, none. She's dying of cancer. She does not have cholera. Oh, no, we're quarantined the plane. You have to go. We're quarantined you. You go. We had to stay in the hospital 2 days, whatever. I'm like, whatever.
It's odd because it brings me down memory lane. I think about all the interactions of all the people. And you were part of my life then.
Sure.
And the marriage, because you were married to Kurt,
right?
That's why you were part of my life. But the rest of them, I all knew, and I wrote about it in a book. But some of these people never read my book. They just
the book is great. They have to get the book. Really producing, not because the book is authentic. It's real. Everything in it, I know it's real, and I lived it, and I know it is good. And the book was great.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much.
I'm just jealous because I didn't write it. Now I have to write one to be competitive to you.
You know what I was thinking, Diane?
Oh, that's no.
I was thinking we should publish Kurt's poems.
Okay, about quite a few.
I'll help you do it. Publish Kurt's poems.
That's the side of him that I only knew, that nobody knows. And it's really interesting. They're beautiful.
Corn Pop says his book arrived today.
Oh, good.
I do autographs, so I'll send you an autograph copy. I'll give it when I see you or whatever.
Oh, I hope so.
And for some El Pilato, no. They're talking to each other. Anyway, while you're talking to each other, we'll talk here.
Sure.
So, you told everybody about this. That people are Outfit Boss says, "Wait, Kurt wrote poems."
Beautiful poems. Really, really, really. And he even how he wrote on napkins, Billy.
Always. I even talked to them. Did I not mention in the book how we were sitting in Sally's?
Yes.
And he wrote on the napkin our partnership.
Well, I have napkins.
Not a written contract. He said it's not written contract, but this is the deal, so we all know what the deal is.
And I have napkins with poems on them when we were in a restaurant or something, and he would write them.
He used to write on napkins all the time.
I know. So I've got cards and I've got napkins. Yeah.
Okay. Mo says, can I ask you when your last interaction with Tony was? Tony Spilotro.
Oh, God, it was right Billy, I don't know the exact year, was when we had the hot dog stands, Billy.
So it had to be somewhere around 74, 75.
Right. Around that time, because I had moved after Kurt had the aneurysm and was really a total vegetable. I stayed around for 6 months trying to do doctors and whatever in the hospital. The people in the hospital told me, you have to leave. You look awful. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. And Mr. Weiner would always have Billy Belay call. That was his secretary, or Millie, and to ask me if I needed any money or needed anything. And of course I didn't need anything, and I would thank him and tell him no. But that was the last time like them when I saw Tony or Joey. That was the last.
Here's a good question for you. Diane, what was your reaction when you heard about Tony's death?
And it made me sick. I don't do well with stuff like that.
I
felt really bad because I always knew the good side of him. And to me, he was always nice, polite. To me, he was like a kid. To me, he looked like a young kid, a college kid. When I first met him, I thought he was a college kid. But I felt bad about him, especially the way he died. That made me sick.
That bothered me more than anything. It was like a street gang beatdown.
It was awful.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, with other people, the way they died, it was a shot to the head or something quick.
At least.
In his case, they made him suffer.
It was terrible. It was not good. And then, of course, I never met his brother, Michael. Wasn't it Michael? Wasn't that his brother, Michael?
Mikey, yeah.
I never met his brother, but just the whole thing, both of them together to be murdered like that, it just made me sick.
Dawn has a question.
Dawn? Yes.
Yeah, Dawn, your daughter.
Yes,
Mom, tell them about how Kurt used to hide your Christmas presents and have you find them with clues he wrote.
Yeah, he'd write clues in the card, and then in the card he'd write a poem like something. I'm trying to think of the one. It was a Christmas tree on the front of the card, and it said something about I'd have to read it, but it's something about look on top of the Christmas tree, but it all rhymed. And I thought, whoa. And then, of course, Marion was taking pictures. I've got the pictures of me reading the card, looking on the Christmas tree, and Kurt standing there, and I'm reaching on the tree, and I take this Christmas present way on top of the tree, and I open it up, and it was a beautiful diamond ring they had hit on top of the tree.
Wow. What happened to that?
The ring?
Yeah.
Oh, probably someone stole it. They were always stealing from me through the years, people. Really, truly, yeah. Yeah, I know. But anyhow, it was so cute the way he did it. I think it says something like, it's very hard to surprise you, as you will see. So I know what not what said. So I will start by telling you, look on top of the Christmas tree.
Poems. He was writing poems.
So I reached on top, and I'm looking on top of the tree, and I felt this box, and I took it down, and you'll see me on the pictures opening it up, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I was surprised, right?
How many members of the family were there when you were opening up presents?
This was at Marion's house. So it was just Marion, Kurt, Ricky, and Kurt and myself, because we would have a Christmas with, and Iny and Grace, his two
and your kids.
And Pocky, and Maria and Dawn. So it was all of us. And of course, their dog, Duke. They had a big Doberman. Little Kurt was there. I think Ricky was there for that one, too. We were all there. We always had dinner at his aunt's house because she set up the basement, very formal. And we'd have dinner down there.
Typical Italian. It was down in the basement. They cooked in the basement.
They had a full kitchen. Everything was down in the basement. It was fun.
Yes, it was. They were good days. They were good days.
They were good people. They were very good people. And they loved Kurt. They worshiped Kurt.
I have to say, I never liked Kenny. I never liked him at all.
I never liked him or disliked him. I just never really felt comfortable around him. And Kurt would always say to me, like when we had the deal with the property, the money transaction, I don't trust my brother. And I'd say, how could you say that? Because I know him, he'd say, but he won't. Nothing to me, he said, because he knows better.
I can see him saying that. I can actually hear it. If you ask the question, I can hear him saying, because I know better. That's why.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, why would he be afraid of his own brother? Because I never saw that side of Kurt. But now I know why.
Well, he constantly cheated people out of things.
Well, yeah, I know why Kenny was afraid of him, because he saw the violent side of Kurt. I never did. I always saw.
Kenny was scared to death of him.
Oh, I know. And
The first time I met Kenny, he said my brother's a hitman. He was trying to impress me.
I never heard Kurt raise his voice, ever. Never.
I heard it from a distance, but
Did you?
he never hollered directly
No,
at
never.
me. It was
Never.
just, as a matter of fact, talking.
Yeah, no, I never heard him raise his voice, ever. Never.
Chicago Joe, he's asking a question here again. Kurt lived out in TP. TP? Took Red to see me and Sam. No, that was when I went to see Sam with Kenny. I went to Kenny. Kurt had murdered somebody out. Kenny had a place on 95th Street before he had Sky High Stables. It was Sky Hopes. And above Sky Hopes, there was a tavern. Or next to it, in a separate building, there was a tavern. And they were supposed to pay street tax, and he sent one of Sam DiStefano's men came out there to collect from Kenny because he figured Kenny owed. And Kenny saw this guy, Kurt saw Kenny being held up against the wall. The guy picked him up. Kenny was short and
Right.
kind of lightweight. This guy was a big bruiser, and you're holding him up against the wall. Diane is just hearing this for the first time, guys.
Listening is like, wow.
So what happened was Kenny said he had his head turned sideways. He was looking out the window, and he said, "There's my guy right now," meaning Kurt. So Kurt killed him, left him in the trunk of a car someplace. As a result of that,
Yeah.
he got whistled into Sam's house. Not Kurt, but Kenny.
Okay.
Kurt was kind of a coward that way. Kenny, was goofy. So I think most of you people have heard the story or seen the story about Kenny and my visit to Sam DiStefano's basement. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought it was after I got there and saw what was going on. He was frothing at the mouth. I never thought I'd make it out of there alive.
What did you say?
His wife was very nice. She was a nice person, but
Well, she was afraid not to be.
yeah. Oh, the terrible things he did to his wife. I don't know why she cried at the funeral. I really don't.
Well, I guess he met her when she was very young. From what I understand, she was a seamstress or something. She worked in a factory on a sewing machine or something like that.
Yeah. In any, I know you would have never put up with this. Okay. I'm trying to keep this clean for publication's sake.
I understand.
There's a newspaper article, and it's a true fact. This black man came into the police station, and he told them a story, and they didn't believe him. He said he was forced to have sex with this woman, and the guy that picked him up was Sam DiStefano. So they went to Sam DiStefano's house, and guess what was there? The guy's lunch pail from at work. So it's a true story.
Whoa.
So that's why I say things he did to his wife. I don't know why.
She probably was afraid of him, Billy. He was that crazy.
After he was dead, she shouldn't be afraid. Why cry over his loss?
Well, because it's really weird. You're with the person so long, even though she knew he was a maniac, she had to know it. You still see the other side of that person. And that's the side that makes you upset or cry, because everybody has some good in them, Billy. Okay. And so she's seen the good part, and that's probably why she was upset. I'm just speaking for her. I don't know. I never met Anita.
I never saw anybody that didn't have a good side to him.
That's my thinking, Billy.
As a matter of fact, I didn't see the bad side on 99% of the people. If I did, I stayed away from completely.
Right. That's why I said everybody has some good in them,
Now, Frank Schweich used to tell me about the people he murdered, and I didn't know them. I knew Tony when he told me about Tony, but it was the kind of thing where he was just as a matter of fact when he was talking about it. We did this, we did that,
It was another thing. Yeah.
I put one in his leg and 7 in his head. He was actually at the, he did the murder on Alan Dorfman. When
Ew.
Alan Dorfman was murdered. And Irv Weiner led him to the slaughter. He was so Irv Weiner survived. And they asked Irv Weiner, what did you see as a witness? And he said, oh, I ducked down between 2 cars.
He probably did.
Well, they left him alive. They didn't kill him. But a lot of people don't.
If they wanted to kill him, he would have been dead, Billy.
Yeah, but he was part of the same crew. He set him up.
Well, sure he did.
So they're not going to hurt him.
Of course they were going to kill him.
Scott H. said, I believe he's talking about, wait a second. There we go. He's talking about Anita. And he said she was beat down. Yeah, she was.
Sure she was. Think about it. How could anybody live like that and live through that and not be, terrible.
Okay, Ryan Brown. Red, was Kenny indicted for any charges on the Helen Brock thing? Then charged with the Peterson? No, he was not charged with anything like that. There's a thing on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Google. If you Google the name Kurt Hansen, you'll find the whole story about Helen Brock and what really happened.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't even read that myself, Billy.
I was going to pull it up for you before the show here, and I couldn't get it to pull up. Yes. Did you know Sam's children?
No, I never met his wife either.
He had two daughters and 1 son.
Terrible.
His son, I got a kick out of his son. He went to the University of Colorado to go to law school and never came back.
Never came back.
He came back after his father died. He didn't come back.
Smart kid. Wow. What happened to his daughters?
I don't know. Kurt used to date one. I remember coming back from the house one day. This had to be way before you.
Right.
Because I remember coming back from the house one day and he told me, he said he was in a white sport coat and he had a carnation, a flower, and he went to date her, right? And Sam brought him out on the front porch. Sam came outside. And he was all ready. He's spiffy. And he had a nice new car then, too. It was real nice. And he came up and said, Sam came out and said, you better have her home at 10 o'clock at night. No funny business. Kurt said he was scared to death.
I'm sure
he took her out on wherever they went, to a movie, something. He took her out, immediately took her right back, and she didn't want to go back. She wanted to, get to know him.
Yeah.
So he was scared. He went right back.
No, I would be. That's one person I always avoided. Anytime I heard he was coming near wherever I was at the time, I left.
Okay, we have some folks. You were asking about this, Diane. So it's Craig, whatever. You got a number there, 5835. Hi, Rad. From one of your New Zealand followers, New Zealand, the country of New Zealand.
Wow.
They tuned in to see you, Diane. Any rate, going through all the different people that we both knew together, I think the family your family was very prominent in my mind at the time. I didn't write much about you, but then I was writing about my life with the outfit.
Right.
But there is a couple chapters in there. And Kurt's aneurysm is kind of an unusual thing. I don't think you were aware of the fact he was having pass out spells. He was passing out a lot.
Just the one time when he would drive he was at Marion's house, he drove there and he said he felt really strange and he laid down. And he said he was there for like 2-3 hours because I was supposed to meet him at the Colonial House. I think it was down the street from Kenny's stables.
The Colonial House.
Yeah, Colonial House, wasn't it? And I sat there and it was like he was always on time, if not anything early or 5 minutes late. Well, I sat there 2 hours and he never showed up. And I'm like, something happened to him. This is not the normal. Of course, we didn't have cell phones then.
Yeah.
It was later that I found out that he had laid down by Marion's because he felt weird. And that was the only time that until he had the aneurysm.
He had 2 spells at American Bonding and where he passed out.
He never told me.
And I told him, I said, you better see a doctor. Oh, I'm okay.
Because it was never sick, but he never had a cold, never had no fever, nothing is all the time I knew him. So you figured he was okay. But no, it's not okay. Obviously, it's not okay. You see what happened to him.
Outfit Boss wants to know, Red, was Kurt afraid of Frank Schweich? Yes, he was.
It was.
Did you ever hear him talk about Frankie Schweich?
You asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Because Frank used to hang out at American Bonding.
No, I never heard him mention him.
Jim Magnifici says, hit the like button, folks.
The only one he really talked about always was Tony Spilotro. And there again, I didn't know Tony by Spilotro. I knew him as Little Tony.
Little Tony.
When he'd come home and tell me, oh, this little guy, he's supposed to be young. He's taken over all the whole city. He's a mafia guy and he's treacherous and he's going on and on about him. Do you know him? And I said, what's his name? And he said, Tony Spilotro. There again, I said, I don't know no Spilotro. So then weeks later, when he pulled up, of course, I got out of the car and he got out of his car and we both exchanged, hey, how are you? How have you been? And Kurt said, oh my God, I thought you didn't know Tony Spilotro. I said, I didn't know his name was Spilotro. I know him as Little Tony. Yeah, of course I know him very well. And Joey Lombardo was with him.
Here's a friend of mine that's tuned in, and he said, did Kurt, let's go this. Did Diane know any of Kenny or Kurt's parents? Or
No.
what were they like?
No.
And that's Ethan and what was his mother's name?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Because he would tell me stories how she played the piano for Al Capone. And he said that they would yell to her, play louder, Lucy, play louder. I guess they were shooting somebody, whatever. But she went way back.
Did she have diabetes or something? She was wearing glasses.
I have no idea, Billy. But she was supposed to be like 5'2", short, kind of stocky. I saw a picture of her, but I never met the lady.
Ricky, her son, Ricky.
Yes.
He had me transfer some of the tapes. They had reel-to-reel tapes.
Right.
And he had me transfer some of the music that she had on reel to tape to cassettes.
Wow.
Which were popular at that time.
Right.
They kept it. I don't know whatever happened to them.
Well, Kurt was unbelievable. He could play any instrument by ear. And I mean beautifully. I mean any. Because when he first played, he called me. Way before I married him. He called me up and he's playing My Diane, that song My Diane, and an organ. And it was beautiful. And I'm like, wow, where are you? That's beautiful. And I'm laughing on the phone. He goes, I'm home. I go, what do you mean you're home? Who's playing the organ? He goes, I am. I go, get out of here. You don't play. He goes, yes, I am. I said, I don't believe you. He said, I am. So I said, all right. And I'm naming songs. Play this song. He played, play this song, play this song. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know you could play an organ. Well, years later, I found out he could play any instrument, xylophone, piano, organ. He'd carry a harmonica in his pocket. When we would travel someplace, he would take it out and play. I'd name songs. He'd play them on the harmonica. I'm talking a little harmonica. He was so talented. It was unbelievably when it came to music.
Yes.
Ever took a lesson. Never.
Okay. Bad Hammer says, you look very familiar to him. Or he said, Red, she looks very familiar to me. Should she?
I don't
know. I don't know, Bad Hammer. Pardon. Oh, these other questions I'm not even going to answer.
Good ones. Don't answer them.
Okay. Can you see the question?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Came in late. Who was Diane married to?
Kurt Hansen. And you probably wouldn't even know about Kurt Hansen unless I wrote about him, because there's nothing about Kurt. No. When you look, I mean, there's very little. I don't see any photos of nothing.
No, I have all of them.
Yeah, Diane has a wealth of them.
A lot of them. A lot of them. Yes.
Oh, some are answering you to others' questions now. No, well, I'll ask anyway. Diane, did you know Little Caesar's wife, DeVarco's wife?
No.
I don't think Diane knew any of the
I
wives.
didn't know any of their wives. I knew none.
Okay.
The only one I knew was Kathy Ebley, who was married to Louis Ebley.
Yes.
He was my friend.
Someone asked here, I can't pull it up. They asked, did you know Tony before he went to Las Vegas?
Yes.
I think that's the only time you did know him.
Yes.
Even though he was flying back and forth.
Right. No, I knew him way before he went to Las Vegas. I knew him way before he became the head of the mafia.
Yeah.
I knew him when he would just come in out of Mario's restaurant and meet Mario, whatever.
Do you remember when Irwin Weiner and Kurt were flying back, not Kurt, Tony, were flying back to Deming, New Mexico? They had their own 707. Kurt made a comment to me and he said, they're living like King Farouk at the time.
They could. They could.
Oh.
Irwin never really spoke about things. He just did them. You know, he never elaborated on anything. And so
we have another question here from Raymond. He said, how did Kurt get so fat? Was he a stress eater or was he a great cook or what?
No, I have pictures of Kurt, which you'll see because I'll give you the pictures, Billy, where he looked really good. And then 6 months or a year later, he would gain a lot of weight. And then 6 months, he'd lose the weight. This went back and forth for 10 years. No, he wasn't a stress eater. He just liked food, and he didn't exercise very much.
That's what I was going to say.
He would go to the office and he'd play gym with Irwin. That was his exercise.
This is the biggest exercise he ever did.
That was it. Done.
Okay.
But he did like food, especially my food.
Bad Hammer's asking, did she ever come to the stables, Red? You were out of Kenny's stables.
Many times, but not to ride horses. I'm not the athletic type. We would go pick up Kenny and Beverly, take them for dinner. Or
I can't see you on a horse.
Oh no. And then we no. And then Beverly and I would do ceramics around Christmas time in the trailer they lived in. But
didn't you get into ceramics with Beverly?
Oh yeah, I've got some I made. I've got some ceramics tree ornaments that Maria and I made when Maria was young with Beverly. And that goes back to 45, 50 years ago.
I remember when she was in that. They had a kiln. She had a kiln.
That's why I used to do it at her house. Yeah. And I dreaded going there because it was just nasty. You know,
it was nasty.
I remember one time I was talking to her and the damn fly flew in my mouth. I was gagging over the sink. I thought I was going to die. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I couldn't live that way.
I couldn't either. Just walking in there to smell. They used to
running around the place.
Well, they not only that, she bred dogs. So the puppies were in there and always had.
Well, I went to walk in the bathroom one time. All of a sudden I hear, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I turn around and I look, here's this dog laying with all her puppies. And I'm like, oh my God, the dog's going to kill me. It was a big Doberman.
That's all they had was Dobermans. Beverly
know.
Was a registered AKC breeder.
I don't know, but he only bred certain ones, the bloodline.
Right. He had his own bloodline.
Hoyt.
They started with House of Hoyt. They started with Ebony Baron von Colossus.
With the Hoyt.
Right.
I don't
and then the scandal of Hoyt went bad and it was crazy.
They're beautiful dogs, but I'm afraid of dogs. I got bit once by a Weinheimer years later, but I don't do well unless the dog is a little dog. And then they could bite too, but at least you could kick them or step on them or something. You know,
I can deal with a bigger dog than I can an ankle biter.
Oh, really?
Because they grab their ankles and bite and run, bite and run, bite and run.
They don't let go. But I'm afraid of dogs. But there again, I got bit once. You know, so I just.
That's good reason to be afraid.
It is. You know, it is. It was for me.
Oh, this is a good comment. In New Zealand, Aussie guys with red hair, we call them Blu-ray or Blue High Blues. Well, she calls me Billy. Diane likes to call me Billy.
That's who you are to me, Billy.
So, Diane, do you have any stories to share with us about me, or about Kurt, or about Marion, or about outfit guys, or whatever?
Well, when I was working at the Pancake House, there was a gentleman in there that came in every day. And his name was Manfredi, Leo Manfredi. Anyhow, he was, I'm sure, connected, no doubt in my mind, because he'd go shopping and bring back shoes that were $1,000, $2,000 a pair. Anyhow, he was nicknamed Mr. Hollywood, okay, because how he dressed. And he was never married. He had a beautiful home, I was told, and lived with his sister lived with him. Anyhow, to make a long story short, he was always asking me to go out. And I tell him, no, I'm not interested in you, Leo. I happen to care about Mario. And he preached to me, well, he's married. He's never going to get a divorce. And I don't care, I said. It doesn't matter. And then he'd go on to say, well, I have a beautiful, I forgot where his house was. But he said, I have a beautiful house. I'll move you in. I'll move your daughters in. I'll even take your sister. I want you. And I said, it doesn't matter to me what you want. I don't want you. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, I'll introduce you to my girlfriend. She's really a beautiful little blonde, and you could date her. I'm not interested, he said. I said, well, you haven't even met her, Leo. Anyhow, she worked in a beauty shop 3 minutes from the Pancake House. Her name was Donna. So I talked Donna into come. She was a beautiful little blonde. So I had her come in to meet Leo. So I said, well, what do you think? Isn't she beautiful? He said, yes, she is very, but I'm not interested. You're the one I want. I said, you don't understand. You can forget it because it's never going to happen. So he would drive me home on occasion because Mario was busy doing whatever. And he would always say, come on, Diane, I'll give you anything you want. I'd say, you don't understand. He said, I was one time, he didn't use the word love. I one time cared about someone deeply, he said. And through the years, he said, we didn't get together. She was a hat check girl, okay, with some nightclub in Chicago, a hat check girl. And you look so much like her, he said. Maybe that's what it is with me, how I feel about you. He said, and I want the opportunity, more or less, to take care of you and take care of whatever. I want you. I said, well, you're never going to have me, so you might as well just forget it. Well, years, anyhow, as the months went by, I left the Pancake House. And as you would have it, he started dating my girlfriend, Donna. So they became a team. And they went on for a while. And then I seen Donna, I don't know, maybe a year later or something like that. And she had 2 black eyes. I said to her, Donna, what happened to you? And she said, my brother and I got into a fight, and Billy, his name was Billy, incidentally, and Billy hit me. I said, Donna, that's not true. Billy would not hit you. Don't lie to me. What happened? She said, no, Billy hit me. I said, I know that's not true. So I went to Mario. And I said, Mario, Leo is doing something to Donna. I know, because she had 2 black eyes, and Donna would not tell me the truth. And I know he hit her, Mario. Excuse me. So he said, I'll take care of it, he said. And as far as I know, he did. He must have talked to Leo. But anyhow, then she dated Leo for years, I guess. She ended up dating him for years. And he took her, the routine, the Rush Street, bought her minks and all, and then sent her to Hollywood to try to get into the movies. That's how pretty she was. She's a beautiful girl. But I guess whatever tests they do in Hollywood or whatever connections Leo had wasn't enough because she never got into the movies. She came back. Well, then it was years later. I guess she married somebody from Italy. I lost contact. You know how I am. I lost contact with her.
Yeah.
And then it was like years, maybe 25, I don't know, 20 years or something later. I seen her again. I met her because she knew a friend of mine, and that's how I seen her again. But
somebody wants to know Leo who?
Manfredi.
Leo Manfredi. That's your answer, Bill.
Very, very classy man. Very nice man. To me, he was nice, but there again.
This is a misconception. Maybe you could help our viewers. When somebody said, I'll take care of this, usually it just meant they would talk to them. And just the fear alone from them saying, hey, don't do that again. They didn't do it again.
Right. Oh, absolutely not. Unless you're a crazy fool.
I agree.
You know, you just wouldn't. But anyhow, that was my story with Leo. And I often wondered, of course he's dead, I'm sure, but I often wonder what, I know he never got married because he never married Donna. He was a confirmed bachelor. But what a immaculate dresser. You know.
Mark Wicks, who is a friend of mine on Facebook, and I've known Mark a long time. Last attempt, please. Did Kurt or Ken have any knowledge of the death of the Grimes sisters in 1956?
I don't even know who that is. Who's the Grimes?
I didn't think you did. There were 3 girls that were left on the side of the road on a Germantown Church Road on the south side.
I don't recall it.
It was related to something else. It wasn't related to.
I never mentioned. I don't think I knew Kurt then. Absolutely not. No, I didn't know Kurt till 20-something
That
years
was
old.
56. You didn't know him.
Yes.
I don't think you did.
Ask Pocky to take her. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Outfit boss. Diane, any stories on Joey Lombardo?
No, Joey, just the one about the park. When I met with Kurt to the park to meet Joey, he was on the park bench, and he had laughed when because Kurt was afraid to meet him because he thought he was going to kill him. So I
don't think they've heard this story. Not on my channel. Do you want to say it again?
Joey had contacted Kurt and left a message for Kurt to meet him at this park on a bench. So Kurt, of course, said to me, "Oh, I can't go alone. He's probably going to kill me." And I said, "Why would he want to kill you, Kurt?" Well, because why would he meet me on a park bench? I said, "How do I know why? But why would he want to kill you? It doesn't make sense." He said, "Mom, I don't want to go." I said, "Well, you have to go." He said, "I know that. You have to go with me." I said, "Fine, I'll go with you, Kurt." So I got dressed and went with him to the park. And sure enough, sitting on the bench, it was daylight. It was like maybe 1 PM, was sitting Joey. And we walked up to Joey. And of course, Joey looked at us and he said to Kurt, "Oh, you had to bring your wife?" And I interrupted immediately and said, "Well, no, I really wanted to take a ride, Joey." And he looked at me and he started laughing. "Yeah, sure you did." He said, "Right. Were you afraid, Kurt?" He said. And Kurt did not answer. And I didn't know what to say. I just kind of laughed. And he only talked a minute or two. He never said what he wanted. And with that, we left. And so Kurt said to me, "See, I told you he probably would have killed me." I said, "Oh, Kurt, shine it."
You were fast on your feet with that answer. You just jumped out.
I always have been, Billy. Why, I don't know, but I always have been. It's not easy to outsmart me. Let's put it. I've been outsmarted many times, but not easy.
No,
absolutely not.
For the listeners, Diane is a very savvy person. She always was witty. You always had some of the cutest jokes and witticisms. You would say something about a situation. It was just funny. And you'd have a look on your face like,
Really?
That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Okay. They're talking politics here. The girls that they talked about, it was on German Church Road in Willow Springs. But I don't think Kurt knew anything about it. No. I don't think they knew anything about it either. I've asked a lot of people. I've tried to solve that crime. Okay,
well, I don't know if anyone remembers, but we had the hot dog stands every weekend on Maxwell Street. I don't know if anybody went to Maxwell Street, but it was called Weenie World. And we were there every Saturday and Sunday, every summer.
That was fun. How'd you get in there?
Well, Irwin Weiner, of course, got us in there because you just couldn't get in there. And we got in there. And, of course, the 5 doors or whatever you want to call it down from us was the lady that sold Italian sausage. I remember calling me over as I walked by because you know how close all the stands were there. And she said, "You're the lady that has the hot dog stand." And I said, "Yes, I am." "Well," she said, "let me tell you something. I've been on this corner for 5 years, and I don't want your hot dog stand in my area." And I said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "That's right. I've been here. This is my corner." I said, "Well, I'm not bothering you. You're selling sausage. I'm selling hot dogs." I said, "Believe me," I said, "we had the okay to come here." Well, she was very upset. I'm very, very ticked off about the whole thing. And I just walked away and left her sitting there talking to herself about her sausage. Well, what am I going to do about it? I'm selling hot dogs. You're selling sausage. Told me to like day and night.
Larry has a good question here. Who did Kurt report to directly?
He never said. He never talked business with me. Ever. Never, ever.
I tried to tell people that the
only thing that Kurt and I would ever discuss, and this is the truth, and that was maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, whatever. I would ask him, Kurt, are we going to run out of money? And he'd laugh and say, we'll never run out of money. Because I was always, he would go to the office, and we would go to the office. I would get in a cab and go shopping. And he'd always give me X amount of money. Here, take, because we never had credit cards. It was always cash. So I'd say, well, are we going to run out of money? And he'd say, no, don't worry. We'll never run out of money. So I never worried about it. I just went shopping and did my thing.
Kurt did directly report to Jimmy Coutura.
I think he did. That's what I was told later on, indirectly.
Yeah, you heard it from somebody else.
Yeah, but never through
the different places he went to, but you didn't. He never said that's my boss.
Never. But I knew because when it all transpired with Mario and Kurt went to Jimmy, telling Jimmy, that Mario's interfering with my marriage because he's in love with my wife, and it was just blown out of proportion. And I never asked Mario if he did this. Of course I wouldn't, because he would tell me, "Don't worry about it, Shorty. It's taken care of." So I never went into it, but that's the way it went. And Mario was frantic, not frantic. Excuse me, Kurt was frantic because he thought he was going to kill him. But Jimmy did supposedly intercede and talk to Mario. What transpired, I don't know. But I do know that Mario did find Kurt, tell him what on the phone, what to do, not to come near me. If something happened to me, he didn't care if it was years down the road, that he would be the one to come looking for. So Kurt never, ever got out of line.
I think we can guess what he meant by come looking for.
Oh, yeah. And he told Kurt, and I will find you, Hansen, he said. That was his exact words, because Kurt was told me that was his exact words. And he would find him, believe me.
Bill Kirschmeyer wants to know, were the hot dogs Vienna beef?
Yes, of course. And poppy seed buns.
I keep telling people that because we don't have them here in Florida.
And homemade French fries, none of this frozen junk.
I remember. I remember you cutting French fries just like I learned from you. The French fry cutter.
Homemade French fries. Excellent. They were really good.
Yes. Larry Lapper, no, I don't have super chat options. I don't want them, but thank you. Thank you anyway. Okay, we have a story. Ryan Brown, excuse me, Ryan. Diane, I completely understand what you said about Kurt not wanting to tell you any stories. About the time military or father was in Vietnam.
His father.
Oh, his father was in Vietnam from 72 to 1975. He still has post-traumatic syndrome from all the stuff he saw.
For any kid to see any of that, it's just sad. It just is.
Okay. Love homemade French fries. Gabby, we all do. Here's a kind of a strange question. Hi, Red. Diane, did you ever know the police chief, Michael Corbett of Willow Springs, or were you ever introduced to him?
No, I never knew any police chief from anywhere.
I don't think Diane really got into the business end of anything.
I didn't. All I did was run the hot dog stands, and I hired my friends and my sister, and that's all I did.
The
big Idaho potatoes.
Jenna Apollo wants to know what kind of potatoes made the best beef.
Big Idaho potatoes made the best.
Whites, Idaho whites.
Yes, and you put them in that French fry thing, and you just press it down. They came out long French fries.
This is a good question. I don't know about it. Did your kids know? Did Diane's kids know about her close outfit connections when they were growing up?
No, they did not. In the door of the refrigerator, Dawn. No, they did not.
I have a follow-up for that question. What do they think now?
They're surprised, like
It's a shock.
shocked, I guess. And I'm like, well, don't feel bad. I lived with him, was married to him, and I didn't even know. And I didn't. I had no idea.
No.
I mean, I knew he knew Jimmy Couture because one time he came, before I even married him, go back maybe 3 years before I married him, in the top, he came to the house and he said to me, I set up something with Jimmy Couture for you to give him a manicure. I said, give him a manicure? I don't want to give him a manicure, Kurt. He said, well, I told him you would. I said, why would you do that? I know who he is. I'll be a nervous wreck. How am I going to give him a manicure? You can do it. You can do it. I said, fine. So he picked me up. I lived in Chicago, drove me all the way to the Heights. I forgot where he took me, wherever. And there was Jimmy waiting for his manicure. And I gave him a manicure, of course. Very polite, very nice, thank you. Yeah, okay, I wanted to get out of there. And that was the last I saw Jimmy.
Well, we're running over an hour here now.
Oh, are we really?
Yeah, believe it or not.
That went quick.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it, Diane.
That's
And maybe you'll go on Mob Vlog again with us.
Of course I will. It was fun. Goodbye to everybody.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
And thank you for stopping by. God bless you.
Talk later, Billy.